Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Now, a little while ago, I asked you on Instagram to send in your questions about my reptiles. It could be about any of them, it can be about anything. And you certainly did, so let's jump straight into it. Now, the first one, it's a tough one. It's which one is a superior skink? Pink or blue tongue? So, because though they're both a year old now, I feel like I'm still getting used to them, still gaining their trust. It is hard to choose which one is superior, and it really depends what you're looking for in a reptile because they are so different. They're both huffy, they're both sassy, they both love snails. I will say diet-wise, blue tongue skinks are easier to cater for. Pink tongue skinks can be a bit more interesting in terms of if you like arboreal reptiles and you want to design a tank that's more arboreal, or you want to watch an animal climbing and stuff. Pink tongues are great at that, whereas blue tongues not so much. But maybe one day I'll have to do a video comparing the two if you are curious. The next question is, which of your geckos and skinks look up to Godzilla as their hero? Bruce. 100% Bruce. When he catches a locust or a mori worm and he does that little head toss, Godzilla energy right there. The next question is, what size tank is Drogo in, and is he more active than Lyra? So Drogo is my chahoua, Lyra is my crested gecko. Both Drogo and Lyra are in 60 by 45 by 60 tanks. One is a habitat tank, one is a Viperia tank. Ideally, once we move, and my goodness, the moving process is so slow, we still haven't even sold our house. Once we do, and I have more room, I would love to upgrade them both to kind of wider and even taller tanks, because they're both fairly active, though I will say Lyra is probably more active, or at least more curious and wants to come out more than Drogo. Who is the most personable? I would say it's a tie between Diego or Lyra, because when you go in the reptile room of an evening, you're almost certainly going to get greeted by either of them or both of them. They are very curious, they love to come up to the door, they love to hang out, and I'd say if someone wanted to handle one of my reptiles, I would probably choose Diego or Lyra, because they're both easy to get hold of, they're both confident, and they are very docile. Most likely to make a death leap out of the vivarium when you take your eyes off of them. This is Minnie, so I will never leave the door open and Minnie just walk away, because firstly it's a big drop. Secondly, I don't think she has the best depth of field because of her vision. If you don't know what's wrong with her eye, I did a video on that years ago, but yeah, if she thinks I've got food and that door's open, she would probably just keep walking. What is your crested gecko's favourite plant? 100% the snake plant. Though this environment typically wouldn't be the best for a snake plant, I tend to try to not water that side of the tank so much, because you don't want to really overwater it, as it is kind of a succulent. But it is by far one of Lyra's favourites because it's so sturdy, and with the wide leaves, she can just fall asleep in it. What would you recommend for a plant growth light for a leopard gecko? I use the Jungle Dawn LED bar. I use it for all my geckos, all my skinks. You can use a standard one or you can use a luminized one. That's the one I use, and I do prefer that because you can set it to gradually come on and go off like a sunset and sunrise. Which one has accidentally bitten you the most? Minnie. Definitely Minnie, and this is purely down to two things. Poor eyesight and enthusiasm for food. It doesn't hurt too bad if she gets the whole finger or the whole thumb, or she lets go straight away. But if she manages to get a pinch of my skin and start to twist, which this has happened before, and she's drawn blood, that can hurt. A tip though, if this does happen to you, if you do accidentally get bitten by your gecko and they still think your hand is food and they won't let go, just sort of pick them up. It kind of confuses them and they just release their bite, so you know. Which one is the stinkiest? Hands down, Bruce. The size of that skink's turds, it is mind-blowing. Now when I first got him, I would automatically clean him out because they stink, right? But his cleanup crew have grown so quickly that they are on it straight away and devour it. But it does still smell a bit. I mean, that lingers a bit. So If I can, especially if he's done it, oh my god, the other day he did it under his heat lamp. I took that straight out. I wasn't letting that cook. And he's done it in his water bowl, and that is just foul. And once again, fully cleaned it out. So yeah, that's a big downside actually to a blue tongue skink. Their poops are terrible. Then we have, which of your animals is the fastest when hunting? I'll say Maui. I don't think Maui's been mentioned in this yet. Now, even though he does have the beady little eyes, I actually think it improves his vision because he will fix onto whatever feed or insect you give him and he will catch it. He will leap, he will climb, he will face plant, he will get the food. Whereas sometimes I can put the food in front of Diego and he won't even notice it. So Maui's by far the one that will just leap across. And he is the youngest leopard gecko, so maybe he does have that more energy in him. Which animal have you had the longest? That would be Gizmo. I don't think we've mentioned Gizmo yet, but I got her all the way back in 2006. Now, obviously, by the time this video goes up, I'm really hoping, and if you don't know she's unwell, this might be shocking, but I'm really hoping she is still with us. If you didn't know, she's very old, as you can probably tell, when I got her back in 2006. Her 18th birthday, by the time this video goes up, will be tomorrow, Friday. That'll be her 18th birthday. But recently she's had some health issues, basically just because she's really old and there's nothing else the vets can do. So we're keeping her comfortable, and I really hope when this video goes up, it's all good. She's still with us. But yes, she is my first ever reptile. I've had her since 2006, and the following year, when her sister hatched out Minnie, that's when I got her in 2007. And finally, which of your reptiles is the scariest? I would have to say Bruce again. He's getting a lot of these, and I think it's just because he is by far the biggest reptile I've ever had. I actually, when I was handling the blue tongue skinks in the shop, I handled a northern blue tongue skink, and as I'm talking to the shop owner, and I've got this massive like adult northern blue tongue skink, it's probably like 2 foot long on me. It bit my arm unprovoked. Now luckily I was wearing a really thick hoodie, so I felt the pressure, but I didn't feel any like pain. But I would not want Bruce to accidentally do that to me. And I think because of that, I'm always slightly scared of him. I know that I can stroke my, like, all of my geckos or even my skink Rex around the jaw, like around the chin, and it's fine. I'm scared to do that with Bruce because what if he thinks my finger is a Morio worm? I don't want to risk that. But yeah, he's super strong, super big. And you know, I've only had him since the start of the year, so I am still building my confidence with him, but he is a tad scary. All the people who have monitor lizards are now like, oh, are you serious? That's just like a potato. It's like, he is kind of scary. Anyway, thank you for those questions. That was fun. If you like this and you want to see more about geckos and skinks and bugs, be sure to subscribe. But thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.